Hi, I'm Sean Rindy with Studio S Squared Architecture. In today's video, we're going to be covering a topic that comes up again and again with our clients, and that's the question of whether or not you should do a remodel and addition project, or if you should go with all new construction. To help cover this topic, we're joined today by Qiming Huang, the owner of Silicon Valley Builders. Qiming's done a number of projects with us, including our very own office. So you're definitely an expert in the field and can speak pretty wisely on this topic, I feel.
Hi, it's my pleasure to come here talk with Sean about this remodel versus new construction, because we actually getting a lot of questions from our potential customers in the real life world. So if I have this recording, I can play this recording to that. I do get in a lot of inquiry about the same topic again with our potential customers, and I want to share my experience with new construction remodel.
Yeah, it seems like every client that comes to us who's considering doing a remodel, we either tell them or ask them, have you guys considered doing new construction? And they're kind of taken aback by it. They're like, well, no, I never even thought that was an option. I thought it would be, everyone seems to assume that it's a lot cheaper to do a remodel project, but that's not really the case, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not really the case. When you start doing remodel for about 2/3 of your house, or adding like a majorly addition to your house, and when that happens, your remodeling cost per square foot actually is higher than new construction. As a GC, general contractor, when we bid for major remodel project, we normally put a higher cost per square foot than the new construction.
Well, why is that? Why is remodeling more expensive? I mean, it seems counterintuitive, because it would seem like you've got most of the house there already. All you have to do is add the new finishes. Why is that not cheaper than doing all new?
So for certain remodels, people want to just probably redo all the finishing, only probably leave the foundation or sometimes leave the framing there. So in that case, we still have to tear down all the drywalls and then tear down all the exterior finishing, like stucco, like trims and sidings. And when we tear those down, we cannot use machine. We have to manually tear those down so that we can keep the structure not damaged, or not damaged as much as possible. And also for certain remodel, they want to keep, for example, like certain cabinet, and to keep some of the countertops. So we have to cut the cabinet. Some part is keep it, some part like throw away. So we have to be very, very careful. So that is
almost surgical in nature,
surgical,
right?
exactly.
Like you're going into this existing house that, maybe the clients want to keep their existing cabinets, or they've got some fake stone that they want to salvage and reuse on their new home project. And it sounds like it takes a lot of effort and time being money, to go in and to carefully remove those things with a crew of people, trying to rip that cabinet off the wall without damaging that cabinet.
Right.
That takes a lot of time, right?
And then so that's like a lot of time, and it also requires some skills to do that.
Sure.
While in the new construction, when we tear down the whole house, it takes only 2 days. The first day we tear down all the wood structure, everything, and the second day we just knock down all the foundation.
Yeah, you just get a big excavator out there and just tear the whole thing out, put it into a dump truck, and then. So you're saying that
machine is always cheaper than labor. And that's one part. That's one part for cost, and the other part is after we tear everything down, we still need to fix the structure issues, fix the foundation issue. That is extra cost. Actually, we do not expect when we tear it down. We have to redo the estimate to see how much we have to fix, and plus we have to redo the plumbing for the area they want to remodel, redo the duct, redo the electrical. Heating, cooling system, put the drywall, refinish the paint. So it's pretty much like we're building that part of the house. It's a brand new house.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I talked before about how air ducting is actually a really big factor for remodels. Can you touch more on that?
Yeah. So that's another part, like why you want to build a new house. Because when you build a new house, you have everything structure exposed. You're building from the beginning, so you have a very well-defined plan from the architect engineer, and you follow the plan. And also city comes to respect every stage, so you make sure everything get done correctly. And then when they start doing roughing, we call roughing stage, you will start doing your duct for cooling and the heating system. You're doing your plumbing, and you're doing your electrical wiring. You see the whole house very clear. It's all structures there, no insulation, no drywall. You can see everything. And then you normally people select. I mean the contractors select the best optimal route for ducting, for piping, for plumbing, and also for electrical wiring. And there's less error that way, because you're not trying to work out the existing thing, try to hack through. You know, it's like hack through. Yeah, it's like when you build anything like coding or anything like program. When you have to adding something, you have to fix something, it's hack through the existing structure.
Yeah.
But in the new construction, everything design is optimal. So
and everything's being done in the right order.
Exactly.
You know, your wood framing gets done, and then the building inspector comes and inspects that framing, and then when he or she signs off on the inspection, then you can run your big system. The next biggest system is the air ducting, right?
Yeah.
Getting those huge, sometimes 24-inch diameter trunk lines installed
for the return air
without having to worry about cutting through existing electric wiring or existing plumbing that might be in the way. And like that wiring that might be in the way, you don't necessarily know what it is, so you got to call in the electrician to come out early and say what that wire is, and yes, you can cut it, no, you shouldn't cut it. So all that kind of gets in the way of, you know, your optimal construction scheduling.
Exactly, and then
that's more time.
Getting other people come to help you cut the wire or fix the wire, that takes more time, more money, more cost for other people.
Let's say I'm a client and I've got an existing home and I'm on the fence between doing a remodel or a new home. At what point, what's the tipping point, do you think, where I should really just consider doing the new home rather than the remodel project?
When you start thinking, oh, this house looks so old, I want to tear down everything inside the house, or I want to replace the roof, I want to redo the stucco, and pretty much like change the whole dress of the house. When that time happens, that's considered major remodel. So then at the time you probably just redo the framing and then the foundation. Because,
you might as well.
Yeah, because anyway, when you take it out, you will have to do a lot of work on framing and foundation, because framing and foundation been there for 20, 30 years, a lot of them already damaged. So it's when city inspector come to look at your electrical wires, to examine your new stucco, they will see the framing and the foundation. Anytime you change a wall, you touch a wall, that will have to meet everything of the wall have to meet the latest requirement, latest code.
When you say touch the wall, what do you mean exactly by touch the wall?
I mean, for example, when you have one big wall, right, and then you knock down one part of the wall, try to install a new cabinet there, for example, and that means you touch the wall. Then all the electrical outlet on the wall have to meet the new code.
Which I mean is in our client's best interest, right? We want them to be living in the safest home possible, but they may not have budgeted to do all that extra replacement, and so that could be potentially a warranted change order that you have to charge to the clients that they weren't expecting to pay.
Yes, it's better because I mean it's better for future living condition, as you said. But when they do the comparing new construction and remodel, they never factoring those factors. So they never think of, I have to change the whole wall, all the electrical. And then when you change the whole electrical, you probably had knocked down a lot of drywall there, you put the wires in, and then that involves drywall comes more budget, costs more money, and then paint. So every time we touch a wall, anything on the wall have to meet the latest construction
building code.
Otherwise, we not be able to pass inspection.
Right. Okay. So what about, let's say I'm a client and I'm considering just adding on a room. Obviously in that case, just doing the addition is fine. You can tie in pretty well to the existing home. That's a clear cut, do the remodel and addition project.
Normally we suggest the client to go with a new construction when the addition part is the same square foot as or same or more than the existing square foot.
Okay.
And then that definitely you want to consider new construction because during the project we have experience when we start building a new part of the house, and then the owners start looking at the old part of the house. They feel like, why this driveway is so new, and then the paint's so nice, and then the other part is not consistent with the new building part, and then you have this up and down your house.
And it sort of feels stitched together like a Frankenstein.
Yeah, they can
house.
see. Yeah, people can see. Okay, this is part is the old house. This part is the new house. And when that happens, they start working on the old house. They ask us to, at the beginning, maybe do a paint, and then they say, oh, that's not enough. How about we just change all the electrical part, you know, because it's nice. I can do 2-way, 3-way, control the lights, and then everything's LED, save energy.
Yeah.
And then when they start doing that, and then that opened the whole world, and they pretty much, you know, started major remodel of the existing part. So that happened again. So consider if that may be the case, then it's probably it's better just at the beginning just tear down everything, do a new construction.
Well, I know that there are a couple projects that we've done together, our office and a home in Saratoga, that were planned to be just remodel projects. You know, this office used to be an existing single-family home. The layout was more or less what we wanted the new office to be. We just thought we could remodel that structure and wind up with our new office. But as it turns out, during construction, you discovered what kind of issues came up.
Yeah, so Sean, you actually, as a homeowner, you actually go through this experience yourself, right? So
it was very, very fun.
Yeah, so both this office and another home we built in Saratoga was, at the beginning, was planned for remodel. So the plan is tear down the structure. And I think I remember for this house, we even tried to keep the wood framing structure. Just redo the interior and exterior finishing.
Yeah, keep the roof framing intact.
Exactly.
Keep as much as possible.
Yeah, just redo the frame, the roof on top, but keep the framing. And then for the Saratoga house, the plan is tear down all the framing, just keep the foundation. So when we started doing that, so first of all, the demolition was expensive. There's 2 houses. It's more expensive than other houses. And then I have to do a couple times. So we do the first time in this house, we tear down all the finishing, like interior and exterior.
Yeah, demolition took a couple weeks.
Because we have to it's like a deconstruction. We have to tear down, like manually take everything out. Try to keep the structure. And then after we done that, and then we see the wood framing exposed, and then I remember the subfloor is like very shaky.
Yeah, it was termite-ridden, it had holes in it. I almost fell through the floor once.
Exactly. I remember that. Yeah, when you walk down it, and then the floor cracked, and then one night with your leg.
No, my foot went through the floor, definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you look at that as a homeowner, you don't want to keep that. And building a nice house on top of that.
And there's no way to tell. We didn't know until we started demolition. That was an unknown and unexpected thing that happened. We thought that the building was in a good enough condition to remodel, but when we started taking all the finishes off, the wood framing, the floor framing, and the wall framing was Swiss cheese. It was eaten away by termites or some other wood-eating fungus, maybe. I don't know if it was dry water or termite.
It looks horrible.
Damage.
Yeah, I remember.
It looked horrible. Yeah, it looked like Swiss cheese.
And actually, for us, I think it's expected.
Yeah.
So for a house,
from the contractor's point of view.
because we see this so much on the field.
Yeah.
For a house, any house older than 30 years old, or close to 30 years old, when we tear down the finishing, we see the same thing.
Is that just because building codes weren't at the same level that they are today to sort of protect the structure from the elements that cause that kind of damage?
Yeah, I mean, right now in the recent days, the building code get much more higher standard, higher quality, so have more better protection of the structure. So that's one part of the reason. The other part, like for 30 years, there always some damage somewhere in the house, right? Because there's been probably earthquake, flooding, whatever, and so that, and also like people have different kind of maintenance schedule. So that also maybe adds up to the shorten the lifespan of the house. So we see that probably like 80% of the time when we tear down like the finishing of a 30 years house, always like that. So when we see that, and then I think your first response is, I cannot build nice house on this piece of
Yeah.
rack. And then so we tear down the framing. So that's second time demolition.
Yeah.
The second time
Second round of
yeah.
demolition.
Yeah, so that's actually is extra cost because
Yeah.
you got the same trade doing a couple times is more costly than do everything in one shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the second time we tear down the framing and then we say, okay, let's using the foundation.
Yeah.
Right? So the same thing as the Saratoga house, we're using the foundation there. But then for the two foundation, we found pretty much the same problem.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cracks on your foundation. Distortion, because of the weight of the house, the foundation already shape already changed.
Yeah.
And then we have to somehow patch it to make it align. Otherwise, the wall.
Yeah.
It's
And that's sort of a Mickey Mouse solution, right? It's not going to be as good as it were. It's not going to be as good if you did it as one single pour, monolithic pour, all at once as a new foundation. It's not going to perform.
So foundation is very important. You pour everything together because all the structure comes together.
Mm-hmm.
That's how when the engineer they do the calculation.
Yeah. When
you have like 6-inch foundation, you patch another 3 inches. That doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So one thing is distortion, and the other is like foundation stem wall is thinner because the old code requires probably only 6 inches, and now we normally put in like 10 inches stem wall.
Yeah.
So it's huge difference. And some part of foundation, actually most of it does not rebar first. And then to your surprise, it's dead for so many years without rebar. It's still there.
Luckily.
Yeah. So we see all those issues, and then engineer also come to take a look at it, and then engineer just do some quick estimate and then fix that issues. Need a lot of work to be done, and then we do the cost estimate. It's more costly. Then we just tear down and then take it off, knock it off, and then do a new foundation. And looks better, and then works better. So at the end, it's both two house. We take down all the foundation, the concrete, and then redo the foundation.
Well, so costs and schedule aside, I think there's design implications as well. Like for this office, we got pretty lucky in terms of the planning and building department in San Jose saying, yeah, it's okay, you guys can actually tear down the whole structure and rebuild it as a new structure in the same shape and configuration as your already approved remodel permit. And I think, had we known from the beginning that we were going to build it new, we probably 100% sure would have designed it a little bit differently, because this was definitely designed as a remodel project to take advantage of the existing home shape and framing, but we would have designed it a little bit differently. That house in Saratoga, when it was discovered that the foundation was no good, the building department and the planning department started treating that structure as a new home and kicked it into a higher level of design review, and that forced the owners to have to make some design concessions to appease the neighborhood and to appease the planning commission. And
I remember the nightmare. I remember we had
a nightmare. It wasn't great.
I remember Eugene and me. We actually have to go to those council meetings from 7 to 12.
How long was that process? Was that like?
Well, so I
months?
think that Saratoga, because it become a new construction, so that review process take a whole year. So the whole year that job site will just stay there without any progress, and then wait until this new project, new construction process get approved.
And it was more or less in generally the same shape as the remodel design, with some design concessions like smaller windows, squattier roof lines. It would have been far better for those clients had they just decided from the beginning to go all new.
So if I think if the client decide to do a new construction, at the beginning that process, the review process done already, and then they do not need a second time to do another review for the new construction. So they can save one year. And then during construction, time is very costly. If you're having the house, when you do anything like a review process, and no matter how long it take, but you still have the house there, you can rent it before you tear down the house. But once you tear down the house and the house sit there for 1 year, the house does not generate any revenue for you, and you have to rent out somewhere else. So that's a rental, taking like extra rental for 1 year, and also all the components itself, like the fence, the temporary power pole, like the toilet, everything stay in there whole year for rental. That's a couple of $1,000 there too for the general contractor. And plus, we do have some certain school district is so restrict, and when they see people live outside, sometimes you have to live outside that school district when you rent. And they will, after 1 year or maybe certain months, they will deregister your case because you do not live that school district. I saw that 2 cases happen.
It's very disruptive to your life. Super disruptive to your life.
I think that owner is really regret that they did not do the new construction in the beginning. And also talking about shave and then the reuse. So basically, for them try to get a fast approval for the second time new construction review process. They actually try to keep the same exterior look and feel, the same exterior mass, and exactly same roof, and then the finishing material. They didn't change anything. Just lower the roof based on the neighbors' feedback, right? So that actually, if they at the beginning they redesign the house, they may have better, may have more flexibility.
Yeah, it probably would have been a completely different design.
And then the other thing, as you remember, because they try to keep everything same, all the elevation. One part of the house was lower before in the old house. One part was like 2 feet lower than the other part of the house.
Split level.
Exactly. So if they at the beginning they do the new construction design, they probably make everything the same finish level. But because they did this in the middle, so they try to keep the house design as small change as possible, less change as possible, so they still keep that 2 level. And then the 2 level, actually the lower part is really below the grade level, and then they have to build a retaining wall around the house to keep the dirt out. So that's actually it's kind of a drawback for the design. I mean, not for the new house, but that can be easily designed to be to
we never would have designed that from the
if you're
new construction, right?
And then here, I think you guys lucky. You guys can still consider remodel, even though we take the foundation out, but then still you have this long shape like for a new building. As you said, you probably want to do a different redesign.
We would. It would have been designed
of the lot.
Exactly. Well, so Qiming, let's break it down. Let's try to talk a little bit about numbers here. So if you were to look at just a single design, everything's the same between new construction and the remodel scenario, what do you think would be the delta in terms of cost between doing new construction versus doing the remodel and addition scenario?
So currently for the area we work at, like Palo Alto, Saratoga, Los Altos, Menlo Park, Arlington, with a nice design, like come from your firm or some other comparable firm. Currently the construction cost with just normal above ground is about $300 per square foot, and then underground about $350, like a basement about $350. That's pretty fixed. Pretty fixed construction cost. For
and that's what the level of finish that you see typical in our projects.
Yes,
right?
on our like a house.com page, like this nice house.
So $300 per square foot above grade, $350 per square foot for basements.
For basements, exactly. That including construction and finishing. So that's pretty predictable at the beginning. Sometimes there's a little bit variation because you guys adding a little bit deco on the outside or a little bit more like trim, like more
special
cedar
details or special finishes.
That may add a little bit more, but it's maybe like $10 more per square foot. It's not that difference. So that's it's very easy. We can understand the beginning and propose to the owner. For remodel project, normally we give a price for remodel. For example, if major remodel above ground, we normally propose about $325 to $350. Because you have to deal with all the issues, right? And then it's not like that bigger. It's more. It may not be more expensive than you because you probably only you only remodel 2/3 of your house.
Mhm.
So we're talking about price per square foot,
Okay,
right?
so that higher cost per square foot is applied to a smaller area.
Exactly, you
Okay.
got only 2/3 of the square foot.
Interesting,
Which
okay.
is times 325 or 350. The
Yeah.
other is like the 100% times
Right.
300.
Right.
But then you think of the other 1/3 is going to be old house. You
Yeah,
know?
so you're probably, so,
So you'd rather like spend more like money to redo the old house rather than just spend like higher cost per square foot to do that 3/3, to do that 2/3
the
part.
2/3 that you're
Yeah,
remodeling.
exactly.
And then, do you leave that
that-
existing 1/3 alone and it looks exactly like it did before the project, or do you
Yeah,
at least paint or do new drywall texture, and then that's gonna add costs as well to make the house look holistic and consistent
Right.
and not a Frankenstein house.
yeah, so we normally see that, so even though we propose, like say, 325 per square foot, right,
Mhm.
for the 2/3 of the remodel, but we normally see that change order coming along.
Yeah.
Normally for new house, we make it a pretty tight,
Yeah.
pretty reliable. So we do
Yeah.
not change any, do not charge any change order unless it's plan change.
Yeah.
If your plan not change, everything's fixed.
Yeah.
Everything, we will build the house based on plan per plan
Yeah.
with whatever the cost we propose.
Mhm.
We never change anything if you're not changing the plan.
Okay.
Right? But for remodel, it's different story because when we start open, as I said, when we
Yeah.
start open the drywall, we found, oh, this wire is not correct.
Yeah.
There's no CFGI for your kitchen. All those things we have to change at the
Mhm.
time, and that we cannot.
You can't predict
We
it.
can't predict at the beginning. We have to just talk with the owner about when we work on the project, and that takes extra cost and also extra time to work out the price, work out the solution.
Yeah.
And sometimes, certain structure issue, we have to consult the architect, can consult the engineer. That takes a longer time.
Yeah.
And plus, like extreme case, we have to submit the city for revision or review. That's
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
a couple months or so.
Or a year.
Yeah, or a year. Yeah, exactly. And so that's one part, one side of one set of situation we
Mhm.
see that may change the cost. The other scenarios are the owner we do not run any issues. We just do the remodel exactly like they want.
Mhm.
But then when they see, as you said, when they see difference between old house and the new house,
Yeah.
and then they start, hey, Jimmy, how about you just paint the wall? Okay, I start painting the wall. I say, oh, actually, why this painting is different from that painting?
Yeah,
It's the
or the
same
texture.
painting, because the texture, because your drywall is different, right?
Yeah.
That's a very old drywall. We're
Yeah.
using like 5/8 Tex X drywall and all fire rated, and we do a level 5 finish on the drywall.
Yeah.
That's why the paint looks nice.
Yeah.
And then the owner say, oh, in that case, I want to change the drywall. So
Yeah.
we do the drywall, and then say, oh, like everything they start changing, and that also drive up the house.
Yeah.
I mean, drive up the cost.
Yeah.
Um,
Of the part they weren't even
and at the
intending
end,
to
they
remodel.
say they
Yeah.
actually pay like $325 for the whole house.
Yeah.
So that's what
For the whole square foot.
the whole 100% because they also
Yeah,
they
versus
want
the
to change.
300.
Yeah,
So,
they
I
want
mean,
to change
this
the other
is-
part.
So it sounds like all in, including the contingencies and the unknowns and the things that are going to have to get changed once you discover them when you're opening the walls. It sounds like the remodel can cost anywhere from 10 to 25% more per square foot than the new home. It's going to take longer,
Right.
and you wind up with a design that is sort of determined by the existing footprint that we're working with, rather than designing from scratch a home that's, custom tailored to your exact needs.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you probably have more experience on that. When you
Yeah.
start design a remodel home, right? You
Yeah.
have to see the current shape. And
Exactly.
certain walls is a supporting wall. You
Yeah, the
cannot
barren
change.
walls,
Yeah,
yeah.
barren walls. And also there's foundation stem more supported. You have to go with that
Mhm.
structure.
Yeah.
You cannot freely design something like the
Yeah.
best design you have
Yeah,
in
you're
mind.
leaving a lot of options
Yeah.
on the table when
Exactly.
you're doing the remodel. Okay.
Exactly. And then I think the most important thing is you end up with a more comfortable, beautiful house with consistent experience. You
Mhm.
walk from one room to another,
Yeah.
you see the same house. It's not like walking from old house to a new house,
Yeah.
a new house to old house.
Yeah.
And also for everything rebuilt, we start from scratch. The city or county, they do inspection.
Mhm.
All the constructions meet the latest code for
Yeah.
fire prevention, for flooding protection, for earth resistance, for energy savings. You got the best function better, and you save money long way. And the other part is on value part. When you sell the house, this is the year that you do the new construction.
Right. Yeah.
If you sell a remodel house, the house has to still visit during the year that they build that house.
Right.
That's a huge marketing price difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know. Going off on a slight tangent here, I know another question that we get asked by clients when considering remodel versus new is the property tax implications. We're not property tax experts, but I know that the County of Santa Clara Assessor's Office states that when you're doing a remodel, if you are remodeling it in such a way that it's like new, it's going to be assessed as new.
Right.
So a new home or a remodeled home is going to have the same property tax implications.
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of people have the impression that the remodel will ends up like less tax cost because they think the house is listed as like maybe 1945, 1955, whatever the year, and then so the tax will now increase hugely. So sometimes people, purposely leave one wall, like small wall. They think this is a remodel, not one wall.
That's a myth. That's not actually true.
As you know, right? Every time we submit a plan to the city, once it's approved, we always have to submit another copy to the county assessor, right? And that copy, exactly how you design it, was engineer design, all goes to county. And those assessor is not full, so they looking at the new design and say, oh, this is brand new house. It's only like one wall, and then they just put it into that character.
And that's just the improvements, right? The land, the value of the land is staying the same. That's not affected by remodel or new construction. The land stays the same, goes up 2% a year, I think, by Prop 13. But the improvements on the land, whether you do the remodel or the new construction, it's practically the same impact on your taxes.
Exactly.
So. Qiming, thank you so much for joining us today. I think this is really enlightening. I hope this helps all our potential clients out there who are debating whether or not they should do a new home or a remodel. It kind of sounds like all roads point to doing the new construction if you've got the budget for it. But even if not, it sounds like the budget for a new home is often going to wind up practically being less than the remodel. Major remodel. It's very counterintuitive, but based on what you've explained today, it does make some sense.
Hopefully this video will help the more homeowner to make a better, more smart, wise decision for their future home construction plan.
Well, thank you, Qiming.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.